Hey guys, welcome to MMA Insider, where we talk about anything and everything related to MMA. In this video, we will look at Daniel Cormier warns Pereira. Pereira and Adesanya go back and forth. And finally, GSP meets up with Izzy before UFC 281. Daniel Cormier recently addressed Alex Pereira's confidence ahead of his UFC 281 fight against Israel Adesanya. Given Pereira's two prior kickboxing victories over Adesanya, Cormier was asked if Pereira would be careless in their third fight. While DC regards confidence as a virtue, the former UFC double champ pointed out that MMA is not the same as kickboxing. Cormier claims that being hit with a 4-ounce glove will elicit reaction, unlike any other glove. On the DC and RC show, the 43-year-old stated, "I think it's a great thing to be confident, but you also have to recognize, it's a different sport. The 4-ounce gloves, Ryan, it's thudding. Like, I've sparred with my 12 ounces, with my 16 ounces, and you get hit and you are less aware because it doesn't hurt as bad. But the moment you get hit with that 4-ounce glove, you're like, oh, this is real." There are just so many differences in fighting inside the octagon. Adesanya has unquestionably progressed since his two kickboxing losses to Pereira, solidifying his domination over the UFC middleweight division. Pereira, on the other hand, is deadly with MMA gloves, having already knocked out Adesanya with kickboxing gloves. Recently, Israel Adesanya stated that defeating Alex Pereira is more important to him than defending his middleweight belt. Pereira, on the other hand, is not convinced. If the last stylebender was serious about beating him, Adesanya would have fought him right away after signing with the UFC, according to the Brazilian. Pereira feels that Adesanya and his squad never wanted to fight since they were well aware of the dangers. Having said that, Pereira does not expect to win the battle based solely on his track record. Alex Pereira feels that Adesanya will abandon his customary defensive strategy when they meet next weekend at UFC 281. This is what he said. "There's no way he fights the way he's been fighting. He will have to be more aggressive. I'm ready for that. We're talking MMA. We're not talking kickboxing. I think he comes more aggressive, and that's perfect for me." In a recent interview with Morning Combat, Adesanya mentioned that the two losses as a factor in his new strategy for this fight. This is what he said. "This fight's already sold. If not, I would have been talking so much trash and whatnot. If I had never fought him before, then I probably would have played the tactic a little different. But like I said, this guy has already beaten me. He's beat me in the past in a different code in kickboxing. It would be stupid of me to come in here and try to intimidate him. I know he doesn't get intimidated easily. Neither do I. So it would be stupid of him to try all these tactics that he's doing to try to get at me. I find it funny." Adesanya stated in an exclusive interview for the editorial partnership with the All-Star that Pereira's line of attack had mad Costa vibes. This is what he said. "Right now, this guy is giving me mad Costa vibes. I remember Costa was doing skits with his guys and all that stuff. Same thing. I don't react. I'm like, what do you want from me? He wants me to react. I don't react. But I will respond, and I'll respond with violence when it's time." Israel Adesanya spent time in Canada with former UFC 2 Division champion Georges St. Pierre before his fight against kickboxing adversary Alex Pereira at UFC 281. According to Daniel Cormier, Adesanya's recent proximity to GSP has something to do with his forthcoming opponent. Daniel Cormier suggested in a preview of the impending fight that Israel Adesanya's new closeness to Rush could be because of Pereira's scary demeanor. This is what he said. "Adesanya went up to Canada and spent some time with GSP to try and develop that mindset of taking on someone that has gotten to you before," referring to the two losses in kickboxing. "Remember, GSP went back and beat Matt Serra. So he went to George, he went to a lot of people that can live the life or have lived the life he's leaving. Pereira is a nightmare for him. He has shown him things that Adesanya hasn't seen much in his life, but his mentality seems strong and he seems ready." When Adesanya told GSP he was going to be in Toronto, the former UFC welterweight and middleweight champion flew in from Montreal. MMA fans were ecstatic to see their favorite fighters converse in a video posted by Adesanya on his YouTube page. In a recent face-to-face interview with Ariel Helwani on the MMA Hour, Adesanya stated about their interaction. This is what he said. "I'm glad we linked up. I was honored because I said, look, I'm going to go to Toronto for 3 nights if you happen to be around. He's like, yeah, I'll come see you. He flew just to come hang out with me, and I felt honored. It was cool to just chop it up. Just a beautiful human being, man." Many consider Alex Pereira to be the major challenge to the last stylebender's dominant reign as a middleweight champion. Having previously defeated Adesanya twice in the kickboxing ring, Pereira will be hoping for a repeat performance in their forthcoming fight. Who do you think will emerge victorious at UFC 281? If you like our content, make sure to subscribe and we will bring you the latest and most interesting MMA stories. What do you guys want to see next? Tell us in the comments below.